Za dobrih 50,000 obiskovalcev tega poletnega festivala tukaj na Hanoverskem sejmišču zagotovo ni bil glavni razlog obiska to, da bi prišli sem za pet Dida. S tistimi 4 legendarnimi nemškimi reperji pa naj bodo še tako zelo fantastični. Namreč lepilo, ki je zlepilo to ogromno množico navdušencev, je pravzaprav avtomobil, bus, Volkswagen bus.
My goodness, look at this. This is so wonderful. The memories are still there. It's so simple and it's so wonderful. Oh, I love it. I love it. It's not just a car.
A van like this is a lifestyle. It gives you freedom.
It's a culture. It is a community. It is a like-mindedness.
Ta kultura, ta skupnost podobno mislečih se danes v skladu s instagramovskimi trendi imenuje #vanlife. Kako pa so rekli včasih? Can you say that you are a modern hippie?
Oh, I was definitely a hippie. And I had way more hair.
No, we are not hippies. We just enjoy with these old vehicles and.
So it's not going towards rebellion against this normal life?
No.
Bulli je vsekakor presegal okvire kombija za hipije. Dobrih 60 let je pač prineslo udobje, do neke mere tudi luksus, dobili smo celo električni pogon in tovarniška šminka vse bolj nadomešča DIY, torej šraufanje v domači garaži. A če sem se kaj naučil na Volkswagenovem bus festivalu v Hanovru, je to, da v ljubezni do bulja leta nikakor, ampak res nikakor niso pomembna. Vsi pašejo v isto zgodbo, a vsak to isto zgodbo začini na svoj unikaten način. Zato tudi ima vsak svojega najljubšega. Za čas tega festivala so seveda vsa parkirna mesta, prav vsa, zasedli teli Volkswagenovi kombiji. In 6,000 razpoložljivih mest je pošlo v komaj 2 tednih. Ampak vse te množije teh Volkswagenovih kombijev me je najbolj prevzel prav tale. Saj pravzaprav ni nič posebnega, tudi prav posebno star ni, čeprav izgleda star in čeprav ga je lastil hipi, ni hipijovsko pobarvan v tiste flower power kalifornijske barve. Ampak mene je impresioniral zato, ker ga je lastil Pete Townshend, legendarni kitarist iz zasedbe The Who. In glede na letnico izdelave tega kombija, lahko sklepamo, da si je Pete Townshend ta kombi v mislu že, ko je obujal spomine na tista svoja divja leta iz 60-ih let. Seveda, ko rečem divja leta, mislim kar resno, namreč njegov kolega v skupini The Who je bil prav tisti, ki je Rolls-Royce zapeljal v bazen. No, naj bi ga, kot pravijo. Ampak smo lahko po eni strani veseli, da je ta Volkswagen bus prestal vso agresijo in pa destrukcijo, ki je bil sposoben Pete Townshend. Je pa mogoče zdaj pravi trenutek, da se tako kot Pete Townshend vprašamo, Volkswagen bus, who are you? Who?
My name is Tonio, 22 years old. I'm Ortwin Reitz. I'm 53 years old. I'm from the Netherlands.
My name is Neil Resnick.
I traveled 1 year in this Volkswagen T2B.
I visited all 48 states.
My father bought it brand new just after I was born. He drove it for 30 years, and then I got it, and now I drive it. I have been living almost 3 years of my life in this van.
Torej, študent na enoletni Eurotrip pauzi, inženir, ki mu je bil način dopustovanja podarjen v zibko, ter rock'n'roll fotograf slovanskih resnih korenin, ki je divja 60. leta doživel iz prve vrste. Ampak svojo zgodbo ima prav vsak bully.
It couldn't be only the idea of traveling around and have freedom, because you can do it with many cars. But the bus is special because the bus connects you. You are part of a community.
When you're in trouble, everyone is going to help you to find some solution. I broke 2 times the engine, 1 time in Sweden, 1 time in Turkey. And I just posted on the Facebook groups, like Volkswagen Facebook groups. And directly I had a lot of messages. People are waiting for me to help me in the garage. And this community about these buses is just amazing.
Pa kako je Volkswagenu sploh uspel ta podvig ustvariti tako lojalno skupnost?
You can't get it and you can't force it. It has to happen. So if you make advertising to get this loyalty, you won't reach this goal. It comes up due to this community. And once you are in the community, you won't leave.
Since I was a child. My parents were on meetings like this, and I was in the age of this. So.
Welches Auto fährst du?
Käfer.
Und deine Schwester? Deine Schwester fährt?
Ui.
So Käfer und Bulli.
Und Mama fährt auch Käfer, ne?
Ljubezen do buljev gre očitno iz roda v rod in v festivalskem kampu je bilo povsem očitno, da iskra ni niti malo obrabljena. Torej, Volkswagen je imel srečo.
It was every time a good product, and it is actually the best product in the segment. So it's not a real luck that people love this car, but it is luck that these communities set around.
Lepo je videti, da Volkswagen zdaj ne pobira zaslug.
We don't want to take them over, but we support them. We talk to the community, which parts do you need, together with Volkswagen Classic parts, and they set up new parts. And nowadays you get nearly every part for a T1. That's kind of our help to the community.
No, ne gre samo za dobrodošlico, gre tudi za gostoljubje. In prav zato Volkswagen vsakih 15 let organizira takšno gigantsko, spektakularno fešto.
We are doing it actually for our fans because we really love them and we want to get in touch with them, to really get together and have a big party. We exchange ideas, we come up with new ideas. For example, how to unfold the seat. It needs to be very practical. This is important, that you have an easy mechanism, for example. So many ideas are coming up and they are using it every day in practice, and of course we try to learn from them.
Well, you can try the fridge. It's I just got it out. I think it should be cold enough. Cheers.
Volkswagenci iz Hanovra so se nedavno od svojih ljubiteljev učili tudi na poti. Obiskali so svoje oboževalce po vsej Evropi in na pot so šli na prav enak način, kot potujejo ljubitelji.
Dietrich and Aldwin from the Netherlands, Tonio Belgium, Steve from UK, Gaby from Romania, Vasco from Bulgaria, Pat from Switzerland.
Seveda, električni ID Bus Kalifornija z dvižno posteljo na strehi je v pripravi. Ampak še predtem bodo predstavili Multivana Kalifornija. Ampak tisti klasični način spanja, kar v kabini kombija, no to ponuja že klasični ID Bus.
Not bad. I was actually very curious if I fit with my 2 meters and 4 centimeters, and actually if I do it like this and my feet are sticking out on the front, but it just works. It's fantastic. Good night.
Poleg postelje so na tej 120 dni trajajoči in dobrih 20,000 km dolgi poti preizkusili tudi, kako gre kalifornijski stil potovanja skupaj z električnim pogonom.
What about the range? And to be honest, the range is a second important thing. The most important thing is how fast can you charge. That is really more important, because if you can fast charge, you are flexible and you can run straight on. That means 30 minutes from 20 to 80 gives you a range of 250 to 300 kilometers.
Ok, razumemo in se strinjamo, da električni ID Bus lahko uporabljamo celo kot običajen potovalnik. Ampak sej, da polnjenje traja pol ure namesto 2 minut, je na potovanju v stilu bulja lahko celo pozitivno. Tako lahko srečaš nove ljudi in, saj vemo, ljudje pot obogatijo.
What about the money? It costs approximately 650 euros a month to do this road trip.
The difference between the hippie life, as you call it, is as opposed to having a real job, I would get into a community and say, what can I do to earn a few dollars to put gasoline in the van to take me to the next destination?
For food, I was invited a lot by locals because I was 20 years old and living this amazing road trip. And the main cost was fuel, of course, 8,000 euros of fuel in 1 year.
Elektrika za baza je lahko cenejša ali pa mnogo dražja. Spet je odvisno od naše prilagodljivosti na poti. Ampak saj na poti s starim buljem tudi potrebuješ zelo veliko prilagajanja, pa predvsem veščin.
To be honest, I always have like 200 kilograms of spare parts with me.
This is, like I love to say, my small garage. It's full of parts of the engine and
The drive shaft to the wheel, ignition, wheel bearings. I have even a spare windshield with me, the plastic windshield.
with this box you can rebuild the engine in a few minutes when you are in trouble with this bus. Because it happens, it's not always beautiful like on Instagram.
This is still the original paint on the car, so it's never been resprayed, never been welded, never been restored, so it's a completely original car.
Ta originalni bulj je samo na dopustih prevozil že skoraj 400,000 km in videl je Maroko, Nordkap, gejzire in kanjone, Tatre, Alpe. Lahko primerja celo, kako je bilo pri nas v komunističnih časih in kako danes.
Slovenia. Yeah, beautiful mountainous country.
Triglav National Park, it was amazing, and the lack of bled. I have a kayak on the roof, and we've been kayaking on the Bled Lake with this island on the middle. It's amazing.
Of course, I like the Lake of Bled. It's very famous, but I also like Ljubljana a lot.
We've been traveling in all Slovenia. We've been to Maribor, and there we met an amazing couple, two people. They had 4 bugs, and we've been traveling 1 weekend with 3 bugs and this T2.
Ah no, dragi lastniki buljev, Bled, Ljubljana in Maribor so sicer čudoviti, ampak toliko lepega ste izpustili v Sloveniji. Pridite še in poglejte še tiste manj znane kotičke. Saj veste, tiste, ki jih ne najdeš zraven avtoceste.
On one trip, I was leaving New York City to go back to the West Coast, and I made the decision to not get on one highway. If you're on the highway, you don't get to meet people, you don't get to visit with people, you don't get to learn what their community is like. You don't have that exchange.
Hollywoodski igralec Ewan McGregor, seveda ambasador za Volkswagenov ID. Buzz. Kot slišim, ni samo najeta reklama, ampak je tudi sam pravi avtomobilski zanesenjak. Saj, če drugega ne, vemo, da spada v naše avtomobilsko področje, potem, da je prevozil že praktično cel svet. Po dolgi poti navzgor, po dolgi poti naokrog, po dolgi poti navzdol. To so seveda imena njegovih potovanj. In celo z električnim Harley Davidsonom je prevozil obe Ameriki. Ampak če se vrnem k Volkswagenu, on ima v svoji domači zbirki 3 Volkswagenove Beetle in enega od njih dnevno uporablja za vožnjo po Hollywoodu in ta stari Beetle je predelan v električnega Beetla. Seveda si lahko mislimo svoje o teh električnih predelavah starih klasikov, ampak eni njegove izjave pa moramo pritrditi. Namreč zdaj se v teh svojih Beetlih celo lahko pogovarja s svojimi sopotniki. In prav ta tišina v avtomobilu namesto prnenja zračno hlajenega starega motorja pa je res tisto, s čimer lahko novi ID. Buzz prepriča tudi v prihodnje. V končni fazi je povsem irelevantno, da se bomo mi v tem ID. Buzzu samo pogovarjali, ker se pač lahko, ali pa bomo poslušali naprimer šlagerje ali pa hipijevsko glasbo, naprimer skupino The Who. Pomembno je, da preprosto gremo na pot in da gremo iskat nova doživetja.
From past my experience, there's no greater joy than travel. The moment we back out of the driveway we're there.
Some people like to be always at home. In German, you have a word for that called Heimweh. I like to turn it around. I suffer from Fernweh, which is I always want to go out.
Pot je doživetje, pa tudi Volkswagen Kalifornija je doživetje in to kjerkoli po svetu, v Sloveniji, v Kaliforniji ali pa v Kanadi. In to vam povem iz izkušenj. Predlagam torej, da gremo zdaj skupaj na doživetje Nove Scotie. S vašim naslednjim klikom.